Hey folks, I am by the creek, as you can see. Come up here to look. I want to show you guys what our plans are for right here where I'm at. This right there on the other side of the creek, that is the game trail. It goes up and it curves and then it comes out over here and it goes toward the north boundary. We are going to put a bridge in right here, a small bridge. I got to cut this stuff out, these few trees right here, this little cluster, these two, this angled one for sure. And I may just take these out, all of these, I'm not sure yet. But I've got to be able to put a piece of that culvert pipe in right here, about a 10-foot length. And then I'm going to backfill it with dirt so that the water flows through the pipe. And we can drive the four-wheeler right across. And I've got to cut a couple small ones there. I think I'm going to have to cut that big one right there on the right. Cut it, and then there's some small stuff up there. A couple of pines about that big I'm going to have to cut. But I'm going to eventually have it all cut to where we can drive up to the boundary over here. But there's not many places in here that we can get a bridge at. If you go that way, just a very short walk, 40 yards maybe. When you get to the edge of the water like this, you got an 8-foot drop to where the creek is. And it's just, I could build a bridge across it, but if something happens and it breaks, I don't know how to do the engineering structural design to where it's going to support the weight of that with me and Kim on it, or me and Rosie, or one of us coming across it. If it breaks and we fall that far, yeah, it could be really bad. I was just gonna look. I can cut these off to stobs as low as I can get them right here, and put the pipe in, and then just bring some dirt in. I'm gonna have to build it up a little bit. Might as well cut all this out right here and just bring some dirt in, go straight over the creek, and then go up here just to give us another crossing point. I want to put one on the boundary down there where it comes up, and it right before it crosses the north boundary. I definitely want to put a culvert in, but good Lord, it is so dense, and there's saw palmettos over there, and we cannot go in there legally and remove the saw palmettos. We'd be in a world of trouble, legal trouble, and we do not want trouble. Is that dead? Yes, that's dead. It looked dead. Such a pretty area. If I had an excavator, I would take all these trees out right here. Not the big pine, I'd leave it, but take all of this other stuff out, go in this direction, and I'll just dig everything out down to the bottom under the water. I'd love to dig it all back, not big, just back about where I'm at, to where this whole area right here, about 30 foot this way, all of this would be water. We'd have to dam it up on that end, but we're not going to dam it to where it stops flow. It's not going to restrict flow at all. We'll have to dam it up just a few inches at a time so that the water will catch up and start flowing again. Let it flow for a while, dam it up a few more inches. We'll have to keep doing it until we can get this area to where it is about 3 foot at the deepest spot. That way we can come down here, have us a nice little beach right here, and be able to swim, and we can fence it in and bring our ducks over here and let them stay here. But I don't know what to do about the ducks, because we have owls, and you guys know what owls do to ducks and chickens and small animals that they catch. Owls are insane predators. They're definitely predator birds. And there isn't much that's safe from an owl's attack. I mean, they get small dogs and cats. They are an ambush master. It's all rotted right here. I'm just clipping this stuff just to clip it, no reason. It's such a pretty area in here. But I want to do the cutting in here before it starts getting hot. And that is definitely an objective. Get this done before it gets hot. Is that saw palmetto? If it is, I can't move it. No, that's slick stem. Okay, I can remove that one legally. This right here is a tupelo tree. This one. Were those? Oh shoot, they got a good root system. Thought maybe I could push it over. Yeah, my little tractor ain't gonna pull these out. I could probably get them if I do it one at a time, but if I get stuck down here, we're in a pickle. Alright, I am going to go that way. Let me grab my camera stuff. I gotta figure out how to get across without getting wet. I have short legs, and that's a 10-yard jump for me. It's been a little while since I've been in here. Alright, the path that I'm walking, this will be the trail. That way is absolutely beautiful. But it follows the creek, and we're not following the creek. The forward trail is going to come through from the creek back there. We're going to come up right through. I'm going to take this stuff out. We're going to come down here. And right here, I'm not so sure I could take this pine down. It's not doing so good. But I would prefer to go around. Maybe I can come through right here and move all this dead stuff. I'm just putting me some marks up here. It's been a long time since I've been through here. Last year, actually. Back in, I believe it was about August last year. A lot of deer tracks in here this year. This is the way I wanted to bring the trail. If you see the big pines right here, this right here is the creek. It goes right where these pines are. It is just on this side of the pines, but there's a branch that continues that way, and then it goes up. Like, you guys aren't going to be able to see it from here. If you see the big pines way off in the distance through there, the creek's on this side of those pines. It splits right here, and I did not know that it split right there. This is the way. See, there's deer tracks right there. This is the way that I originally wanted to do the trail here. I wanted to come through right here, but you can see how thick it is. The trail that I did make is right there, and it's pretty open. It's not that bad. There's a lot of deer tracks in here. So I'm bringing my backpack. I'm putting a camera up in here today. Nothing crazy, just a little trail camera. That other trail I showed you back over there, but where it gets thick, instead of us coming around right here, if I could go right through right here, see there's a root ball. There's 3 root balls here, and I'd have to get the tractor in here to move them to be able to get past them. They're just too big to handle by hand. Let me get in here and find somewhere to sit down for a minute. This is it. Okay, now what we got, one of our friends owns that property right there. All right, our north boundary. If you see this root ball right here in front of me, if you go that direction, about 5 feet, you're at our boundary line. This will be our north boundary. And it goes that way and across the creek that way and then across the other branch of the creek. Alright, so I am going to put a camera up in here. I think I'm going to put it right here on this pine tree right there and have it aim in that direction. I think cut some of this mess off and let's see what it looks like, because I gotta have it set where there's not anything that's going to be moving in front of it. It's going to interfere with the proximity sensors on it. The only thing that would mess me up right here would be a squirrel. Yeah, okay. Alright, give me just a minute. Let me get my stuff out. And I'm going to put that mount right here. I think I'm going to do it kind of high because it's an adjustable mount and I can lean it to where it's filming out here. I'm going to have to cut some of this little stuff down. We'll do that now. Look what I went and got. I got me a battery drill now. I love it. I'm glad. I just got to get me some drill bits. I've got a few, but I need to get some more of them. Show you guys, this is a camera mount that I put together. I made myself because I can't see spending, you know, $15 to $30 for something to screw in the tree to mount my game camera on. So I went to Home Depot and I bought this eye bolt with the screw part. It's a lag screw eye bolt, and then I bought a 1-inch regular eye bolt. It's a 1/4 inch, 1/4 20 thread, and I got 2 nuts on it and a washer. And then I run a 1/4 20 1-inch bolt through the 2 eyes. Got a washer here, a washer there, and a wing nut. So once I screw this in the tree, I can screw my camera on here, and I can tilt it. I can loosen this wing nut, and I can tilt it and change the angle of the camera. And I built this. It was about $3.70, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. I built 4 of them. I got 3 out in the field right now. This is the last one. And I think for all four of them, I had a few dollars left change, and when I paid for it with a $20 bill. So I think it was around 16 bucks out the door. Anyway, let me get it put up, and then I'll mount the camera on it and I'll show it to you. Now I want to show you, the camera's catching me right now, but I just want to show you the setup once I connect it to the camera. Once I screw the camera in where I want it, I get it down as far as I can go with it, screwed in. Then the washer sits against the camera, and then the first nut, I tighten it up tight against the camera to keep it from rotating. And then I just tighten the second nut up against the first one to form like a jam nut. And then you just tighten your wing nut right there once you get it at the angle that you want. You see the angle that it's sitting at. This tree's leaning really bad, so it's a little hard where you could see it in the camera. And so I've got it to where with it shooting out, it is hitting the ground about right there, right about my fingertip. That's where it's actually shining at. When these deer come through here, there's a trail right here, and there's one that comes right up over here, and then they turn and they follow it. We're gonna go find somewhere to sit down right quick. All right, folks, wanted to kind of fill you in on what's going on at our home and with our situation. A lot of you that I'm in contact with regularly, and those of you that Kim's in contact with regularly, you guys know that like 99% of us, we're struggling just like everyone else is. And our issue has been with our car. Kim's car is a Ford Fusion, the hybrid, I think it's called. I can't remember. Anyhow, when we got the car, we were told the car has been in a couple of fender benders, minor accidents, and we weren't concerned with the fender bender, but we needed a vehicle, and we got a pretty good deal on it. We traded a boat that we had for it. We weren't able to use the boat due to what it costs to maintain a boat and run it. We just don't have it, and that's all there is to it. Well, we've been driving the car, and it's been a nightmare. It's been non-stop problems. A vacuum pump impeller went out in it, which I didn't know cars even had them. So that was a learning experience. We had to pay to get that fixed, and praise God for the good people he puts in your path. One of our good friends, the church he goes to, there's a young man that goes to that church, and he is a mechanic. Now, you have to tolerate his, you just got to tolerate him. He has a lot of stories that'll draw you in, and you come in on it, and then you become part of the story, so to speak. Anyways, he's a great guy, really is a great guy, but he's just different, and it's just how the Lord made him. It's different. But anyhow, he had said, well, let me call him and have him call y'all, because we were dead in the water. The car wasn't running. So he contacts him, and we give him directions, we talk to him, and he drives by, and he gets out of his truck. He walks up, and he said, you having problems with your car? I said, yes, sir. And I told him, I said, it'll crank up, but you can't even push the brake pedal. It's like it's locked up. It won't go in at all. And he said, you probably got a busted impeller for your vacuum pump. And he just lost me right there. So he walks over, he cranks the car up, he touches the or the brake pedal, shuts it off. He said, yep, that's a vacuum pump. So I had the hood open. This little thing at the end of the engine block, a little old gadget like that with bolts all over it. He disassembled it, pulled it off, and sure enough, had an impeller in it, and it was destroyed. There are $300+ to get them at AutoZone or O'Reilly's. He said, don't worry about it, because we can get them on Amazon for pennies and nickels. They're cheap. And he found one for $53. It was 46 or 47, and then with tax it was 53. Anyway, I asked him, I said, what will you charge me to put it on? Because you got to line it up with a cam or something of this. It's got to be lined up with a camshaft or a cam gear or something with the cam. So he said he charged me $50. Well, 3 days later, the part comes in. I call him. He comes right over and puts it on. He said, instead of paying me $50, you got a tractor. Could you help me straighten my yard up a little bit? I said, yeah. So I went over there, and he offered to buy the fuel, and I did quite a bit of work over there for him to help him out, and so we ended up even. That's one of the good parts of being in line with your Heavenly Father, your Creator. He will line things up like that. Anyhow, fast forward it. We'd ride down the road, you hear something bounce under the bottom of the car, you look in the mirror, and there's something tumbling down the road. Every time we leave, it's 9.5 miles to leave our house and to get to the pavement. Once we get to the pavement, we're normally okay, but on the way home, there's pieces of the car down the road. And it happens almost every time we drive it. And that's not an exaggeration. Parts are falling off. All this skid protection stuff underneath, it has come off in pieces. Good Lord, the last thing to happen about a month ago, Kim was coming home. We had a lot of rain. We got these gigantic dips in the road. They fill with the water. Well, she come through one of the dips, it tore the entire front clip off the car. The fog lights torn out, headlights messed up. It pushed the radiator and the transmission cooler into the engine. It was a catastrophe. Got it home. I patched the front end back together to where it was one piece. I couldn't put all the parts back on it. All the sensors got torn out. The sensor that tells you the hood is open, it got torn out. The little cameras that it has, which they don't work anyway, they got torn out. And anyhow, got it put together. Kim calls, she talks to her siblings often, and there's a friend of the family, which is her siblings have retirement accounts, and this friend, she's a licensed accountant, I think. She handles their finances for them. And anyhow, Kim was talking to her and said, I don't know what to do. Our luck is just getting worse by the day. And Kim was crying. She was upset. We can't afford to drive the Suburban every day. 8 miles to the gallon will wipe you out. Now, if we're having to haul anything, If we got to pull the trailer, if we got to haul anything, it drops anywhere from 5 miles to 6.5 miles to the gallon. It's not feasible to drive it unless we have to haul something. So this friend of the family says, I'll call you back. She reaches out to Kim's siblings, and they have a discussion. She calls Kim back and says, look, you need a truck. And Kim said, yeah, we absolutely need a truck, but we can't afford a payment. We just can't do it. It's impossible. If the payment's $50 a month, we cannot afford it. We don't have it. So her siblings, they all pitched in. They loaned us money to get a truck. We found a truck. We found several. It's taken a while to find a good one, and we found a good one. We went to look at I think it was a Dodge truck. I don't remember the year make. The year was 2019. I don't remember the model. When we get there, the Dodge had 130,000 miles on it, I believe. The salesman comes out. We didn't see the truck in the parking lot, and it's a huge dealership. Salesman comes out, and we tell him, what we seen online, and we'd like to look at that truck. It was within our budget, barely, but with the tax tag title out the door, it would be a little bit over, but we were covered. That would be okay. He said, I got that truck. It's out there. And he said, exactly what are you needing? Because that's a big truck, and it's not real good on gas. And we told him it has to have a back seat. We got to have four doors. It's got to have four-wheel drive. And we really need heat and air conditioning. And that's pretty much all. Preferably good tires on it, at least something we can get 20 or 30,000 miles out of. He said, I've got one. We just took it in. The mechanic shop already went through it. Everything checks out. Right now they got it in the detail shop. They're cleaning it up. He said, but I can go and pull it out. He said, it'll be going on the floor in the next couple of days for sale. And he said, it is a nice truck. So we agreed, well, let's look at it. He said, the only problem is it's a little bit over your cap. What we told him, we can't go over this. And so he brought it out, and we looked at it, and it's the color of the truck. I'm familiar with a color that is very similar to it, and it is a bright color. They used to put it on muscle cars back in the 60s and 70s. A beautiful color. I absolutely love it. But to see it on a truck, my brain is not registering it. I like the color. I don't like it on the truck. But I will absolutely get used to it. And anyhow, the color is called Solar Flare. It is a 2017 Nissan Titan Pro X4 Pro Pro 4X. I'm trying to remember the picture. It's got it on the side of the truck. I think it's Pro 4X. It's 4-door, 4-wheel drive. It is a bright, almost canary yellow, beautiful color. On the truck, it just don't, in my mind, it don't fit. Kim loves it. It is fully loaded. The truck has everything. It's got stuff I never heard of. It's got a heated steering wheel. I didn't know they even did that. I didn't know that was a thing. Heated seats, front and rear. The seats also have air conditioning in them. You turn it to the cold, and you have cold air coming up between your legs. And it's kind of weird, but it's these days we got all that crazy stuff. But anyhow, it has navigation system in it. It is factory. Everything's factory on it except for the tint on the windows. It's got the factory upgraded towing package on it. It is the factory off-road package. It's got more suspension travel, a much more plush suspension. The bed has a factory spray-in bed liner. It's got tracks built into the bottom of the bed, two, one on either side. Then it's got two on the side rails up near the top for a tonneau cover, which, according to the salesman, Titan makes a Titan makes a tonneau cover that slides right into that. You can lock it. It's a hard cover. You can stand on it. And the tracks on the bed of the truck, they make a toolbox for that truck, and you set it in the track, and you can lock it at any position, anywhere in the bed you want it, and nobody can steal it. It's there. And we don't have the toolbox. We don't have the bed cover. Maybe in the future I could see us getting the bed cover. I'm not so sure about the toolbox. We have one, an old one that don't lock, but it's $15. I can put locks on it myself. But anyhow, the guy asked about if we were going to trade the car, and we took the car down there. And we have to be careful. We can't drive it a lot because the head on the engine is bad. And you have to change the oil often. It turns like it almost looks like milk, like eggnog, yellowy milk. But if you don't change the oil, it fills the whole motor up and it comes out of the dipstick too. Then the little knob that you unscrew where you add the oil, it'll start coming out around that. You have to change the oil all the time. The car is shot. Well, he says, "You're going to trade the car in." And Kim and I, we just started laughing. That was funny to us, and we thought he was joking. The front of the car is put on, but there's big shiny chrome or steel screws, Phillips head screws, that I run all through the front to screw it to the car so it don't fall off again. And everywhere that it broke, I put plastic behind it, and I screwed the plastic to hold all the cracks together. It's got screws all over the front of it. There's no air conditioning. There's no heat, no headlights. Engine block is bad. Oh, good Lord. I can't remember it's got so many serious problems. Windshield's busted. It was a little crack like that, like a round crack where something hit it. And when it snowed, it went across the whole window. The whole windshield's covered in cracks. So anyhow, Kim and I said, well, we ain't thought about it, but the blue book's low. I looked it up. 900 to 1300 is all it's worth. He said, well, let me take it for a drive and we'll look at it, and I'll be right back. All right, we looked at the truck, and I seen the mileage on it. So while he was checking our car, I went online to Edmund's Blue Book and Kelly's Blue Book to check the value of what the truck was. And I put in 90 something thousand miles, and what we got it for was almost 7,000 under Blue Book. The mileage I put in, that was according to the mileage that I put in when I was doing the check. When we went out to drive it all around and check it out, the mileage I put in was 20 something thousand miles more than what was actually on the vehicle. It wasn't 90 something thousand miles, it was 70,000. So the value is probably a little higher than what the Blue Book showed on both sites. Well, we ended up, he come back, we wanted the truck, but we had to Kim had to contact her siblings and the accountant, and there was no issue. They said, yes, absolutely. If the truck is that nice, get it. And so the salesman comes back and he said, I can't give you a lot for your car. He said, but we can give you $1,500 since y'all are doing a cash payout. We're not financing. And Kim and I laughed because we thought he was joking. The way he said it just sounded like a joke. And then he said, do you want to do that? And Kim said, are you serious? And he said, yeah. She said, yeah, it's yours. You can have it. You can take it. So they give us $1,500. We were going to try to get $1,200 for it, $1,300 right up in there. We were going to try, but the car's not safe. And so when we brought it up, we told him the car had been in 2 accidents and 2 fender benders from what we were told. It was fixed, and I told him there's water getting in the oil. The front end got torn off, and it shoved the radiator and the cooler for the transmission back into the motor. Headlights don't work, no AC, no heat. There are so many problems with that car. And we told him everything we knew, and he said, well, we can't give you more than $1,500 for it. He said, because the car has been totaled. We were never told that when we bought it originally. It has not been in 2 accidents, it's been in 3. 2 fender benders, and the third one, the car was totaled. Insurance company scrapped the title on it, and the guy we got it from bought it and got what's called a salvage title. He bought parts and put the car back together and painted it and sold it to us that it's been in a couple of fender benders. And anyhow, we got it off our hands. We got the truck, and I'll put up some clips right here so you guys can actually see what the truck looks like. They're not real thorough, but it'll give you an idea of what we got.
The leaves are falling, summer's coming to an end again. The daylight's growing shorter. Baby, maybe we should go in. We could start a fire. It's just cold enough. It's the perfect time to fall in love. Cuddle me up in your biggest sweater. Bring on the winter, baby. I could stay wrapped up in you forever. Fall asleep to the breeze coming through the window. Do you like your coffee sweet? Tell me something else that I don't know. I just can't get enough. It's the perfect time to fall in love. Cozy walk in the park.
Now on the truck, as you can see, it is a bright yellow, which is something that I'm just going to have to get used to. I just had to scoot over. It's feeling a little odd back that way. But the truck, it's a pretty truck. It's got brand new tires all the way around. The 4 tires and the spare tire are brand new. They still got the little rubber nipples sticking out of the tread all around the tire. The man who owned the vehicle originally, we know him. We're not on a personal basis type knowing, but we know who he is. He owns, I'm not going to tell you the name of it because I don't have permission, and he's got the money to do bad things to me if he don't want his name out there. He's in the cattle industry. Big time in the cattle industry. Every 4 or 5 years, he buys himself a new truck, and he buys an entire new fleet for everybody that works for him, for his company. The truck that we got, the Chiquita banana truck, was his personal vehicle. He does not smoke. The truck has never been off-road. Never been in an accident. We still got 3 years warranty on it somehow. And God, there's so many benefits. And the way this deal worked out, I wish I could tell you the price of it. I'm still blown away by it. But Kim and I talked, and anytime we shared anything that's good happened to us, I get attacked. People email me. They'll hit up the Facebook, which the Standing Goats Rescue, the Facebook is not tied to our channel here. I run the channel. Kim runs the Facebook page. The Facebook page is strictly for the goats, nothing else. If someone has a goat that needs help, they're looking for any information pertaining to goats, that's what the Facebook page is for. If you need to reach out to me, please, for the time being, please do it in the comments. Our brother Don Moore, he keeps an eye on them when he's not working and tied up doing things. He does watch them far more than I do. I just don't have time. But if you need to get in touch with me, please do it through the comments. Leave a way for me to get back up with you. And just don't put your phone number in the comments. Please, none of you, don't put your number in there. I made the mistake of putting my number on YouTube when I first started the channel up, and I paid for that one. So do not put your number up. But anyhow, I'm not going to mention the price. I don't want people attacking me about how rich that we are and all the money that we got, and we're begging for money all the time for other people to help people, and then we pocket everything that's sent. I know it's nonsense. You guys know it's nonsense. When I do a call out for help for someone like we just did for our brother Kyle Connolly with Encrypted Connections, I did not post my PayPal or my Cash App. What I posted was his. If you send money to that link, it's not coming to me. It's going to him. And that's what I do for everybody except for those who don't have the account. There's been an exception 3 or 4 times that people were doing help for. All they had was a bank account. And I had to use my PayPal in order to send money to them. But that person responded, because I would copy everybody's email address that emailed me to help them through PayPal. I would send that info to her. It was a woman, young woman was the last one. And then she reached out to him to give thanks. But anyway, I get accused of stealing money from everybody, and we're rich. We got a tractor and a new home and the land and the motorbike and the boat and the four-wheeler, and everything's paid for. We just got so much money to blow. But for some reason, I can't afford to pick up a prescription that's $18 right now. So it just don't make sense. I guess I'm too greedy to get my own prescriptions. But anyhow, I don't want to hear the nonsense. There's no nice way to say it. There's some absolute idiots in the world, and I don't want them contacting me. That's all there is to it. I love all of you guys and gals. Y'all are part of us. You are our family. That's why we're sharing with you about the truck. But anyhow, the way it's working with the truck, it is not free for us at all. Nothing's free about it. We were loaned the money to purchase the truck. It came out of retirement accounts that are not ours. We don't have one. When we sell the other house, we're working on cleaning it now to get it for sale. We got another person that's interested. When the house sells, we got it all set up. The lady handling Kim's siblings' accounts, she's handling the sale. When the house sells, the check gets sent to her directly. Our name is not on it anywhere. When she receives the check, she'll deposit the check into some, I don't know what account she puts it in an account. We don't have one, so it's somewhere. Then she pulls out what we borrowed to get the truck to the penny, takes it all out, and our Kim siblings, when they loaned us the money, they loaned us an equal amount. All of them loaned the exact same amount to cover the cost of the truck. Not insurance, the tax, tag, and title, everything combined. So when the money comes back, and just to give you an example, this is not the number at all. This is just an example. If we paid, say, $15,000 for the truck, and so the accounting lady, she borrowed $5,000 from each of Kim's siblings, 5, 10, 15. When we sell the house, the check goes to her. She pulls out the $15,000 and she puts it back in their accounts, 5, 10, 15. And they're not charging us any interest, any fees. We do not have a time frame because it is retirement accounts that it came from. So we were told if the house sells next week, the money goes back to their accounts. If it sells in 3 years from now, the money goes back to their accounts. There's no fees. So the Lord has blessed us tremendously with this. The truck rides incredibly well. I hope we don't have any issues with it. I hope it lasts us a lifetime. I do not want to have to buy another one. They are so expensive. 3 of the trucks that we went and looked at, sorry, I'm getting on this side. 3 of the trucks that we went and looked at were over 30,000. We were not approved that much at all. And anyway, they were over 30, and every one of them, when I put them in to do the blue book, what they were asking for them was over the blue book amount. One of them was smoked in so bad when we got out of it. On the way home, you could smell the cigarette smoke in your clothes. Nobody was smoking in it. When we test drove it and checked it out, the salesman wasn't smoking. It was just in the fabric. It was in the seats. The truck smelled like an ashtray. Above the driver door and the passenger door, all the way up at the top of the window on the roof, there were cigarette burns on both sides. And they wanted over 30,000 for it. Both of the 2 that we looked at that smelled like ashtrays were Dodge trucks. Both of them were base models, like work vehicles, and only one of them was the 4x4 four-wheel drive. But one of the back doors didn't open, and there were issues with every one that we looked at. We looked at one that was really nice, but the only problem was it was 2-wheel drive. You know, the price was right, everything was right, but we have to have 4-wheel drive. I'm fixing to get out of here. I don't know what it is that I keep hearing. It's right back there. Whatever it is, it's somewhere right up in there. That's movement right there. We're gonna get out of here. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting a little creeped out. I do want to share with you something that happened just last week. There's the camera we just put up right there in front of us, right there. Last week I went to check some of the trail cameras. I've got one of them that is on the creek, and it's down pretty low, probably about this high. See, I got to squat down to get the memory card out to check it, and while I was checking it, I hear a tree coming down, and it sounds like it is a whopper of a tree. It sounds like it's, you know, as big around as this thing right here. It sounds massive, and it is just crashing down, and then it just stops, like it did not hit the ground at all. And I find that extremely odd. A tree that size, it would take a lot to prevent it from actually touching the ground, and I never heard it hit the ground. It just went, you hear it break and it fall and it crack, and then it just stops. Now that camera that I checked was back there on the creek on that side. What I heard fall was on this side. And so I finished uploading the pictures from the memory card, and I left. I got on the four-wheeler, and I was trying to focus on that sound to make sure there was nothing trying to follow me, or, you know, it was most likely just a tree falling. But I wanted to make sure. Look at that trail right there. Holy cow. I wanted to make darn sure that I didn't have one of these forest people following me. It had my nerves ramped up. Well, I turn off the trail. There's a big bed of palmettos like this. Big old bed when I turn the four-wheeler, it's on the right. As soon as I turned, they're beside me, something starts smashing through them. Now you see it, they're not high. They're waist high, a little taller. Something's crashing through them. And I stopped and I was looking. I couldn't see it. I mean, it was right here beside me. But I could see the palmettos, you know, where it was running into them. Well, I could see the end of the bed. It was right there in front of me. It wasn't far, and I could see that side. The only spot I couldn't see was right when I turned off the trail. That end of it down there, I could not see that. And it sounded like he went the same way I was going. And I slowed down, and I've got the footage in my phone. If I remember, I'm going to add it. I'll add the point where the tree fell, and I'll add the footage of where I got on the four-wheeler and I'm driving out, and when I make that turn next to the palmettos, you can clearly hear the tree falling in the video, and you can clearly hear something. It was an animal. I am absolutely certain of that. I just don't know what it was. It was not a deer, or I would have seen it. Coyotes don't make noise like that. If you get a coyote in them palmettos, you won't hear him. They're just super silent. They got padded feet, so they don't make any sound at all. So I don't know what it was. I don't have an answer for it, but whatever it was, it caught me off guard because I was focusing on listening the direction that the tree fell, which was to my left. Once I turned, it was to my left, and the breaking of the palmettos happened on my right. So I had my ears focused to the left, so it startled the tar out of me. But anyhow, instead of blabbing about it, I'll just throw that clip up here. At the end of the clip, that'll be it for this video. And again, if anyone's seen or heard anything in this video that I missed, please throw it in the comments. Our family here are the ones that always find the things that I miss. It's always one of you that does that. I don't have the eyes or ears to catch all the stuff that you guys are finding. So if you do find anything in the video, please throw it in the comments. Throw a timestamp of whatever you found, where you found it, and if you don't mind, put a brief description on what you found. I'd be greatly appreciated and absolutely honored if you do that. Well, folks, I love you all. God bless you. Y'all have an amazing afternoon. Be safe in whatever you do. Please be safe. We live in a wicked world, and it is after you. No. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Until then, be kind and be safe, and we'll see you down the road. Bye-bye. It's got a few deer right there. Holy cow. Hope you guys heard that. That was loud. Come on. Let's get out of here. Man, that was crazy. I've heard a lot of trees fall, being how much time I spent in the forest. That was one of the loudest, if not the loudest. Come on, baby. this right here. Did y'all hear that? Man, what is that? Something bedded up right here. Alright, I ain't gonna mess around. I don't know what that was. Made a lot of noise getting out of there though.